Yatin Mota caught up with the management, Baba Kalyani. Let's hear out. He started off by asking whether global sales will be as strong as the domestic ones. Listen in.
Yeah, we have a fairly large basket of export market. It is commercial vehicles, it is industrial products, it is passenger cars. So we are seeing a very, very strong demand pull in all these areas and across the world, across North America, across Europe, across Asia. So we are very bullish on the export market going forward. I think we should see increases in our export revenues as the quarters pass.
Okay. And Mr. Kalyani, in the release, you have specifically mentioned that there have been strong order wins in the domestic market as well as, for, your German operations wherein you have secured a multi-year 40 million euros, order. So do you think the pipeline is healthy? If you look at the Class 8 truck orders also, the data points are quite encouraging. So do you expect, the order flows to continue at similar rate points? And also, if you could tell us how really is the European market with respect to the commercial vehicle business, because, things have been slightly weak there in the auto sector. But for Bharat Forge in particular, how have been the things shaping up in Germany?
Bharat Forge things are pretty strong. We are switching to a large extent our product mix to more lightweight components in aluminum. So we are seeing a very strong traction in those products. And that is what we just announced a 40 million euro order annualized, in Germany from JLR. The truck market in Europe is holding pretty reasonable. It's at a pretty good level.
Okay.
So overall, the markets are pretty good.
Okay. Okay. And Mr. Kalyani, also if you could tell us about your expansion plans, how much will you be spending, especially for the US facility which is coming up? And also if you could update us on your Nellore and Baramati expansion projects, by when do you expect, the products to get rolled out from these domestic plants?
Baramati expansion is largely in our traditional products because we are running out of capacity and we just need to put more capacity. So we are putting in capacity. This is largely capacity increase in both large forging as well as machining. And this will be on stream by March of 2019. So by April, the first quarter of next year, we should see this capacity coming on stream. The same thing is with our plant in Nellore. This will be on stream by April, May of 2019. We'll start producing. But since that's a greenfield plant, there will be a certain ramp-up period of about, let's say, 4 to 5 months. Whereas in Baramati, we expect to see a much smaller ramp-up period because it's a brownfield expansion. But it's a pretty large expansion that we are doing in terms of capacity. That should increase our capacities quite substantially.
Okay. Sir, one question on the operating margin front. You have been able to deliver stronger margins, on a year-on-year basis, despite the fact that we had commodity cost pressures. Last time when I spoke with, Amit, he said that, you have been looking to cut costs and use the capacities at the optimum level. So given the fact that, commodity prices have now stabilized, and you're talking about good growth. So do you think from here on there is scope for further improvement as your new plants come into picture and the overall operating leverage improves because of higher volumes?
So we are already running at, we have given a guidance somewhere like 28 to 30%.
Okay. So you will be maintaining that?
Operate in that range.
Okay.
This quarter came in at 29%, was better than the last quarter.
Okay.
But it also depends largely on product mix. Sometimes you have one type of product mix, sometimes you have another. The good news is in the defense aerospace business, we are beginning to see a lot of traction. Okay. And you will see this in the next quarter. Our revenues in this sector will be substantially higher than what they have been before.
Okay. And sir, one final question on the newer technologies and the newer, acquisitions that you have done. you are looking, to get aggressively into the electric vehicle space, and you have been looking to invest in newer technologies. You have done recent acquisitions and investments, in some overseas businesses. So, do you think Bharat Forge will continue to invest in these special units, will incubate them, and when it comes to the inorganic market with respect to newer technologies, especially in the electric vehicle, Bharat Forge would be open to inorganic plans in this segment particularly?
Yeah, I don't think we will make vehicles as such, but we will certainly make large number of systems and subsystems that go into these vehicles. So these acquisitions are largely to create that kind of capability.
Okay.
How do you create the powertrain, the subsystems, the electronics, etc. that go into this? And I think that will help us create a space for ourselves in the EV market as the EV market evolves in India.